So I was at a function and a guy asked the group of women, what is it and why is it that women don't provide a safe space for men, right? Because as a woman, when you are being disrespected and you feel like you're arguing with another woman or you feel like you got to protect yourself, it is no longer a argument between a man and a woman, especially when you begin to feel like you got to protect yourself. The ground, you then feel like you either fighting with somebody in the street or either you're fighting with another woman. And or why do they think that men are more feminine these days than they used to be? And my answer to the group was that the reason why women feel like men are more feminine now, or it's hard to provide a safe space for men when men are very emotional, or some women, I'm gonna say, or feel like that is they're weirded out, is because it has been the narrative that black people, black men and women have passed down from generations to generations. Like men are told not to cry, men are told to, hold in their emotions, to be manly, and so what happens is that as women, if we're in the house with a man, we don't see men cry. We don't see our fathers crying. We don't see our brothers breaking down and crying. We don't see them being emotional. And we definitely don't see them bitching and complaining, or, just being more emotional than the women is being, right? We normally see them handle things in a more macho manner, where if they are upset, they may express a few words, or they may handle it a certain way, or they may walk away or whatever, right? And they come back and they communicate in a more logical manner, right? And so what has happened is that not only do men of a certain age feel like that men these days are too emotional, too soft, express too much, have not given women the opportunity to be in a safe space, because it's all about, well, what about me? And it's not that women, or some women, don't provide a safe space for men. It's the fact that men have gone all the way to the left, some men, and felt like that, they have to be considered to the point where they do not consider their woman, or they feel like, a lot of times they're the prize. And what has happened is that you have seen a shift in the role of men, right? But then there is a balance, right? You have a lot of men that will express themselves in a communicative way that is mature and able to articulate themselves, and they are not bitching. What we mean when we say that the roles have switched, it means that when you try to communicate with a man and it's bitch this, or it's you don't listen to me, or what about me, or, it's all this, and it's the constant, every time you try to bring something to your man, that man really deflects, or either turn around and it's all about him, to the fact that it's a problem. It's a problem. You have to walk on eggshells to make sure that you're not upsetting him, or you have to, push your feelings aside to make sure that his feelings are validated, but it's not reciprocated. It's like, you respect me, but I don't have to respect you. And it does not become an issue of him not respecting you until it literally becomes a issue that perhaps he's embarrassed, or perhaps he feels like violated, or he feels like, how dare you, right? One of those things where you can do it, I can do it, but you can't do it, right? And so there are some women who do not know how to provide a safe space for men when it is justified. And it should always be justified. But when I mean by justified, I mean when you have a man who cry, or a man that can articulate himself, or a man who wants to speak to you in a respectful manner, or even wants to share his feelings, there's nothing wrong with providing a safe space for that man. But there is the fact that a lot of times you have to consider how that woman was raised. You have to consider how that man was raised, because a lot of men of a certain age not going to be vulnerable anyway because they feel like something is wrong with that. It makes them look weak. But there's nothing weak about a man that chooses to express himself. It is only weak or talked about when the way the man chooses to express himself is disrespectful and is inconsiderate. So there's a big difference, right? That's my thoughts on it. Because I feel like both people in the relationship should be able to provide a safe space for each other. But at the same time, you got to know the difference, right? You got to know the difference because when the feminine energy on both sides is, a screaming match, or, both people, yeah, I guess you have to gone through it to know, right? But there's a difference in feminine energy being too much and just being able to provide a safe space because you are being human. Men are allowed to be human too, and